Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing the good old fashioned BM Hunter. Now, I'm doing some carries, typical the same person, and this was our 1800 push. Now you'll notice that a lot of these times I don't even land the traps that I throw, especially if they're YOLO traps, across the map and with no stuns. Your best case scenario is them stacking. As a BM Hunter or a fair order, really anybody, if you stack together, this is exactly what'll happen. So we just hit whoever's close, and whoever doesn't have CDs up, and we kind of just PV them down. You'll see that we're getting a ton of procs. We're instantly swapping on PS. We're instantly silencing them. Actually, we don't even need silence. We literally just kick them with the damage and take them out. So again, just an insanity amount of damage going out, and that's the worst thing that you can do versus a BM Hunter is stacking. Stacking's never good. The good thing about BM Hunter is even if you do make a few mistakes, you have so many defensive cooldowns that it ends up being okay usually. But I'd say Disc Priest. I'd say HML Disc Priest or HML BM Hunter is probably better than Disc, honestly, just because of its utility. Every time I face an HML, it's like they can survive a very long time in twos, because you gotta go through bops. You can't kite them during freedoms. It's just insane. But here we're just popping our damage. We're walling. The good news is we kind of have a pet sack and two walls, and then we also have a heal for a third wall. So technically we have four walls, which is pretty insane. But we're kind of just running around, never letting the Feral ever get his opener, and kind of just doing damage. It's really just a basic rotation. You get your three stacks up with your barb shots. Off that, you're kind of just doing damage. And as you can see here, we ended up getting Trinket. Um, we end up fanging that thing. We get our shield. We wall on top of that. Now he can't stun me, and if he does, he's not going to get anything because this is on his, frenzy where they're going to be doing their most damage. So we're just looking out for the good old-fashioned burst dam here. He gets a fear. Fortunately, it wasn't on the priest, so there's that. But at this point, we don't even need CC. I have all my damage rolling. I could trinket this, but there's no point. At this point, we're kind of just full throttling and killing this guy. We don't really have to worry about anything else but damage. We have a silence if we need to. We also have a trap coming up as well, and everything's kind of ready. But at this point, we do our lop, miss trap, but at the end of the day, he just dies. Uh, I guess he didn't know that he was in danger because any feral dude knows if you're not in bear form by 40% HP, you're most likely gonna die. Um, a lot of the maps like these, I'll run my explosive trap where I can knock him off and stuff like that. But I faced this H-Pal like 4 times last night, and I will say, um, just H-Pal versus Disc Priest, if it's not an insanely good Disc Priest that can insta-purge bobs, it ends up becoming 30 times worse for us. They're just a super dampener, and it just comes down to them just literally doing, like, just not dying. They just feel immortal. But regardless, we get a solid setup here. They're both stacking again. Never stack versus a BM Hunter. I think they realized that after the opener here. As you can see, I'm doing 1,000,000 damage a second. Literally just killing both of them. But afterwards, obviously, if they're not stacking with each other, then it ends up just, that's just it. All there is to it. Here, we're probably going to turtle. It looks like we wall and turtle. I thought I could get with just walling, but nah, I just turtle on top of it. Keep my pressure going. My healer CC'd, and he's no longer CC'd. So we're pretty much good to do damage. Again, it's just a consistent amount of damage and a consistent amount of walls. So this is our last wall that we have for a little bit. But at this point, we should be safe. His cooldowns are ending, and we're just kind of hitting whatever we can hit. Trying to push on top of them so we can keep the pressure going. But that's pretty much it. Again, H-Pals are going to be really hard to kill, but you do want to swap the healers sometimes. It really just depends on who's on top of you. But here we knock him off, so it forces him to run back up. We're going to purge his Divine. It looks like we didn't get it. And again, we're just keeping up those stacks, and you're just doing max damage. And as you can see, we're still doing a little bit more damage than this guy. Mainly due to the fact that I've just had a lot of uptime, and they've been stacking. Me and my healer rarely stack, and when we do, it's not for long. But every time you do stack, it's just a bad news. So here he has Bop on him, so I swap to the H-Pal. There's no point in going Hunter when he hits this. We almost kill him here with that kick. Unfortunately, he ends up surviving, and I think he bubbles here. But so yeah, we get Bop, Bubble. They still have Trinkets, but Trinket's not really a useful cooldown in dampening. It all comes down to just whoever has more damage and whoever can heal the longest. And it looks like this game we actually were able to win by like a telescope. not by a huge margin. And again, anybody that plays Hunter, or really anybody that plays Feral, anybody that plays anything that's an H-Well, they can be annoying. Unless you're like a caster and you don't have to actually, you can hit through it. Bop is just one of the most annoying cooldowns, especially when it doesn't, like when it gets purged, it's not that bad. But, with how much utility they have, if you don't purge their stuff and you don't get lucky with it, it ends up being not very good. So here he ends up turtling, he ends up trinketing. Um, at this point, again, you're just hitting whatever you can hit. The Paladin pet stacks, we're just keeping barb shot on everybody. Anybody that we can hit, we're keeping it up, and we're just keeping the pressure going. Again, another bop. It looks like we did get the purge on this one though, which is probably why we won this game, because I was able to keep up the damage. So here we're just full throttling. We trap here. He actually didn't run into it yet, and it was still on DR. He's right next to it. I don't know if he'll land on it, but we'll see. Looks like we're still doing our pressure on. Again, with the good news with traps is they don't actually see them. So he could randomly hit that trap. So here I cancel my turtle to kick here, so he doesn't hit to a full rep, which would have lost the game. At this point, we're just trying to keep pressure up while lining, and just keep doing damage as much as possible. We're very low. We just need like one lucky kick. So here I yoink a trap up there. Again, it just didn't hit him. So it actually hit the hunter. The hunter ran into it on accident. So that's nice. But we're just keeping just keep damage. There's really not much more to it. It just comes down to damage. Whoever can do the more damage and the more healing will win. And this is the end of the game right here. We die, we lose. We have to somehow win. So another situation where a steel trap would just be a lot better on this map, because your traps are just gonna break. Here we get a full trap, which gives us just enough time to actually kill this guy, and then he gets a fear off that. So again, very close game, and that's really all there is to it. Just a close game. Another game where it's just like a lot of damage coming out, and you kind of just, anytime you face a caster, you kind of just have to sit on the pillar. In the opener, you can go for your CC chain, but here we get a full trap, we stun the evoker, we're just doing our damage rotation. Usually my priest would fear off my trap, but it's not a insanely big deal. So here I pre-feign death, so he literally gets no damage out. Unfortunately, evokers do an insanity amount of burst, an insanity amount, and it's consistent. It doesn't matter if there's one person, two person, three person, everybody's dying. It's kind of like a BM Hunter, except it's a single target. Like BM Hunter does a good amount of damage solo, but like its bread and butter is when it's hitting two or more people. So here we use our heal. It looks like we turtle instead actually. So here we have to turtle in the opener. Again, not what we want. It's not an ideal situation, but at the end of the day, it happens. But keep your 3 stacks, keep your markup, which gives you I think like 5 or 10% more extra damage. And at this point, they're now out of damage. So we just need we have one wall left, and that's pretty much it. But again, their damage never stops. So this is no damage, this is no burst, this is just their damage. Evokers have gotten a lot better than what they were. Very popular spec, and they're really strong. But as long as you really live their opener, you're pretty much good. Sometimes, as you can see, I literally haven't had the break of getting out of this yet. He's going to try to get a rep here or sleep. It looks like we can't kick, so we're just going to line and not let him hit us. The H-Pal almost ends up killing me because he's running that build. So here again, we line on the sleep. We're just never letting the evoker hit us. We're slowing him when we can. And thankfully all his wings are gone. He also steering glares nothing. This guy runs into my other trap that I put on the ground a while back. And at this point we're back to just sitting on the pillar. We're going to stun the paladin and the evoker. And we get a full trap. Really nice trap. Keeping the pressure on. Unfortunately he bops this guy. Hopefully we can get it here. Yep, we did get it. And we're just keeping the pressure going. Make sure you keep your 3 stacks up when you're kill commanding, because if you don't, you're not going to do very much good, damage at all. You need to have at least just consistent 3 always. But as long as you just keep that up while blinding, you'll win a lot of these games. I've only lost to like a dozen people, and they were either all in H-Pal group, or I think there was one wrestler group that I lost to. But all it comes down to is pressure, and we end up having the better pressure at the end of the day, and we take them out with the better CC as well. So that's the reason I don't like the H-Pal build right now. There's 2 you can play. But the H-Ball build that he's playing right now, I cannot stand it. It's like a fist weaver. I hate it. I wish it was I wish it was never existent. It is one of the most just disgusting builds of all time. There's nothing fun about doing it. It's just a skillless healing spec, especially when you're playing that build. Now, the Herald build is a lot more fun to me with Tier of Deliverance or Tier of Delivianza. But here we end up getting a good kick into a good fear, and we went off the fear again. One good, one or two good, solid fears that game, and you'll end up winning that W, even without consistently trapping. Um, I'm running a PvP talent, or it's not a PvP talent, but it's a talent that basically gets off diseases and poisons. I end up switching in between depending on what I'm facing, especially when I don't think Nox going to be that good. There's situations where Nox can be good, like versus rogues or melees. Like, I'll use it versus melees, because, especially warriors, where you can just keep knocking them back, and they have to waste a charge. Here we're running in, go for a full trap, stun the Warlock. At this point, we're just doing our full burst rotation, getting everything ready. We don't trinket the coil, because we already know he's going to cure me soon. And this is where he's going to start doing a lot of damage. So here I feign death, basically get a full shield. I hate that pet where he seduces. I can't stand it. I wish there was a better way I could target it. But it is not many people run it, but it is very annoying. So here we get wall, we get dark pack. We didn't get any trinkets yet, which kind of sucks, but oh well. Here he stuns, he misses stuns, unless he was doing it on my pets, which might have made more sense. Here we're gonna use a wall, maybe, or we might save. So here we use our, yeah, okay. So we're pretty solid right now. Again, sitting the pillar versus a lot of these teams is really nice, especially versus casters, specifically. There's no point of you being out there unless you're going for CC, and you kind of just need to be on the constant run, never letting them actually cast, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So here we're using our speed to give our, just keep pressure on them without them just being able to kill me. And that's really it. So here we pet sack ourselves so we can stop some of the burst damage. I feign death a lot of the burst here. Here we ultimate penance. That's actually not bad at all. We have fear and we have trap, so we could push him for a go here. I am stuck, which is unfortunate. Full root. But we're just keeping the pressure on. And this is really all it comes down to, is the lock not double bleeding is also a really bad thing for them. He keeps CCing the healer, which you should never do without bleeds. You should always be, consistently hitting 2 people at a time, and they probably would have won had they been hitting both of us, because Warlock damage is insane. It's even better than Hunter damage overall. Once you get double bleeds out or triple bleeds, it's pretty much GG for the enemy team. That's how strong it is. Thankfully, he only decided to bleed me, and it was still very close. They almost won the game. We had just enough pressure, as you can see. I went from 60 to 0 in 1 second on random damage. I think it was like a haunt damage go. So here we get a good trap into a trap, because again, when you trap somebody and it misses, it stays there for like a minute and a half or something. So he ran into one trap and then he got trapped again. My guy can push him for a fear now. At this point, again, we're keeping the pressure up. It's really not very difficult as BM Hunter, thankfully. It's one of the most popular specs in 2v2 Arena, especially warriors and stuff like that. Maybe Pharaoh Druids. I'd say just Hunter in general, though, is one of the better classes in, especially 2v2 Arena. Just because you're just having an overwhelming consistency, and you're kind of just keeping the pressure up. So here, he can't even out-heal my pressure that I'm putting out. I'm kicking the Warlock a lot of the times, because I know I can out-dampen this guy. I will kill him before he can kill me. So I'm just focusing on kicking the damage, stopping his pressure. As you can see, if he gets pressure going, it's not good for us, like, at all. So here we throw out a trap, we get a DR trap really good. My guy could push him for a fear here, I think he does. And we get a full fear into the dub. He actually almost survives, but we take him out. Again, getting one of those fears is just, perfect. Another comp where we should beat this, but there are situations where there are solid, like mages that can end up killing you. So here, we're just gonna basically we just use our stun into our disorient, which is our silence. Off that, we can kick him or we can disorient. We'll see what happens. It looks like we're just doing pressure, so we're hitting both of them at this point. So already doing an insanity amount of damage. This is where they're gonna hurt us though. I pet sack myself, and even through my pet sack, they almost kill me. even through my big wall as well. So here I throw out a trap. He almost ends up killing me, actually. Thankfully, I turtle literally at 2%, maybe 1. So they almost just killed me. Thankfully, my guy was able to swap immediately, and we're just running back to the pillar. Always run into the pillar. The only sad thing about playing a BM Hunter is you're so, you know, your pets are everything. Your entire class, if people know how to face you, then they know how to destroy you. He knows how to ring my pets, which is like the worst case scenario for me, because then I have to deal with not getting pet sack and not getting consistency out every time he rings my pets, which he does every time. And that's a smart thing to do. That's how you disable a BM Hunter, disable the pets. You know, Ring of Frost, Roots, really anything that can stop a pet from hitting you is a good thing. Otherwise, we're just going to keep a consistency while we're sitting on the pillar. That's why, see, this is one reason I hate playing casters, is this reason right here. It's the fact that there's nothing you can do about somebody sitting on a pillar. Especially if you're not playing like a rogue mage type of comp where you can't keep them still. And I'm just able to just keep running. And that's really all we're doing. We're just running and running, and we're walling when we can. We do get a nice dome here. Thankfully, the mage is sitting his block when we're both stacked, which would be the better time to do damage. Because, you know, we're both stacked, and he has burst coming up, so it's like the best time to hit both of us. You know, aggro. But here we're literally, again, I say this every video, but I hate Disc Priest because I feel like its healing just sucks. I feel like its shields and everything with this 4 set is great, but its actual healing itself is so hideous. Its healing sucks. It's just really bad. It feels like you're not healing anybody. It's the only healer I've ever played that just doesn't feel like it's doing healing. It just feels like you're inevitably keeping somebody alive with shields, but your healing just sucks. So here we get another feign death, we get a wall, we get a pet sack on top of that wall, and we almost still die. Thankfully, we get block again, so it forces them back. He cancels the block, which is a big mistake for them, because now they can't recover. If we can recover before they do, they're going to lose. Thankfully, we get a full trap into a trinket, and at this point, we're just keeping our pets on him, doing damage, and trying to take him out. He gets a nice ice wall, we're going to force in. Now, we're not going to go too far in, because, you know, they're ready to do their setup. You always want your healer to be with you. Don't go around a pillar by yourself. Again, he Ring of Frosts my pets. Now he's going to be doing a go. He's probably going to sheep my healer, or he's going to stump. We'll see. So here, Ring of Fires. My pets are back out. We're doing damage to the mage. We have CC coming up. We have a full fear. We'll get his altar if we can. Looks like we get it right now. Nice. Into a stun. Off that, we can YOLO trap. Looks like it doesn't hit anybody, but at the end of the day, we just out-pressure them. He gets a good swap. He gets a good dome as well. Do they run into my trap? We'll see. So here, again, we're just killing both. The worst thing that you can do versus a BM Hunter is stack, and this is how we win the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.